Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to this week edition of the MetReport.
Today is Friday, November 10th. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Noah Block.
And I'm Sassy Montenegro. Let's get started.
Feeling a little stressed about finals coming up? No worries, because a campus-wide event is here to help you out. The Auraria Health Center, in collaboration with the Auraria Recovery Community, is hosting a Slay Your Day with Mindfulness event, and all students and faculty are invited to enjoy a day of peaceful yoga and healing, as well as delicious food. The day will feature exercises to help deal with personal triggers such as self-reflection, trauma-informed yoga, and other coping mechanisms. These strategies can be used in daily life, and the Health Center and ARC encourages all that can to come out and enjoy the serenity. The Slay Your Day with Mindfulness event will take place in the Emmanuel Art Gallery tomorrow, Saturday, November 11th.
Being on campus, it's sometimes difficult to take in all that Auraria has to offer between sports, music, and especially art, Noah.
That's right, Sassy. And the Emmanuel Art Gallery, which we were just talking about, is one of our campus's hidden gems, displaying new art exhibitions every few months. Our reporter Alex Petrich has a story.
Located between the PE Events Center and the Auraria Library, the Emmanuel Gallery sits quietly with its doors open to everyone on campus. Built in 1876, it began its life as a synagogue before being converted into an art gallery in 1973. Since then, it has displayed the works of hundreds of artists, local, national, and international, with exhibits rotating every few months. Sponsored by CU Denver's College of Arts and Media, the current exhibit is Cuban artist Angel Ricardo Rios's Ikebana, a modern take on the centuries-old Japanese art form of flower arrangement. The installation features 7 oil-on-canvas paintings, but the centerpiece is the massive inflatable sculpture depicting pumpkins and gourds. Gallery coordinator Andrew Palomero spoke more on the exhibit's importance, as well as what the Emmanuel Gallery offers to campus.
We have 7 of his paintings that he stretches onto large canvases and often paints with his fingers and hands, but they're often depictions of flowers, natural life, plants, things like that. And then the centerpiece of this exhibition is a giant inflatable sculpture called Ikebana, which is the namesake of the exhibition. And it is a series of gourds of different colors that are kind of interlocking. And it's designed for people to walk through, sit in, crawl under, more of a direct experiential kind of artwork. In this case, we collaborated with the K Contemporary Art Gallery here in Denver, which is just a couple of blocks over from campus. They represent Angel as well as a bunch of other really great artists. And we had approached them about putting on an exhibition of Angel's work because they had previously exhibited Ikebana, the inflatable, for a week last year. And so we started to talk about what it could look like, putting his work in the Emmanuel. We selected 7 of his paintings from their vault, as well as centering the show around Ikebana. So we pride ourselves on being a community space. So we may have a small staff that operates this gallery, but we try to make sure that this is a space that that is by and for the community that exists here.
Ikebana will be on display until February of 2024. Plenty of other events will be hosted in the space through the end of the semester and into the spring. For the Met Report, I'm Alex Petrich.
The MSU Denver Music Department hosted this past Monday a recital in the King Center Concert Hall, where our students demonstrated their artistic talents through visual and performing arts in a full orchestra. Student recitals have the purpose of helping the student feel the pressure of performing in front of the public so that they perfect their instrumental skills and overcome their nerves when going on that stage that every specialist in music wants to achieve. The series of recitals featured 8 musicians with a variety of instruments performing together, as well as solos in everything from trumpet to guitar to vocal piece, all performed in a classical style. Last night, the student organization Black Era hosted a roundtable discussion in the Tivoli Senate chambers.
That's right, our reporter Xavier Goche was there.
The Black Era Student Organization met to host their very first roundtable discussion. The goal? To hold space for Black and African students to have open and honest conversations. Topics range from Black liberty and opportunities for connecting with other Black students on campus, to sharing space for mental wellness and ways they can give back to the community. I spoke with some members of Black Era to hear their feedback on tonight's event and what's to come for the Black Student Org.
We got some big things in the works, and it's not just, at the end of the day, it's not just a party thing. It's not just the social thing. This is actually, we are trying to do things that's gonna impact our community and impact and also push the narrative for Black excellence. You know, and that's the #1 thing that we're trying to do.
I am so excited to share with y'all tonight. Was amazing, inspiring, and also just making me feel like it was an opportunity to share a space with my people. On the Auraria campus, we have a hard time of finding a place for us. Feels like sometimes, and tonight definitely showed that there is multiple other students on here that do have the same mindset as me. And I love it that we get the opportunity to share with all my other peers, having a good time every time we show up and we show out. So, you know, come join Black Era. Come see what we do. We have amazing events. We show up for each other. We support each other. And it's just one big family. So
we're doing all the things to make sure that here as Black students that we know not only that we matter, but know that you're cared for, know that you're supported. We want to also make sure we walk out of here getting our degrees. No longer will Black students on this campus who are part of Black Era, and even if not a part of Black Era, will be walking away from this campus community without their degrees. And we also trying to walk up out of here without any indebtedness. So I think, you know, what happened tonight was groundbreaking. What happened tonight was raw. What happened tonight was powerful. What happened tonight was magical. And it's been said before, and I'll echo it again. Black excellence. That's what we do. We are about Black excellence. We're about Black History 365. It doesn't just happen in Black History Month. We're making history. And so tonight, what you will see and witness is Black history in its finest. The first groundbreaking conversation with Black and African students, changing this campus climate, changing the culture, changing our universities, and leaving our mark. So stay tuned. We have our next generation of Black Era leaders who are going to take the charge. We have our Black Era members who are also taking the charge. And then also, too, we here to work with whomever. So all our Black brothers and sisters, we're here. We got your back. And whatever you need from us, reach out to us.
You can catch the next Black Era Roundtable in the Tivoli Senate Chambers on November 30th. I'm Xavier Goche with the MetReport.
This past Wednesday, First Generation Initiatives had a student panel, which was an opportunity for students to network. It took place in the Tivoli, room 320. At the event, there were many First Gen students and employers present. The employers gave students tips on what to do that would help them in the workforce, such as suggesting that students go to events such as the panel, because that can get their resume to the top. They also advised freshmen to get a head start in applying for internships. The panelist also said that internships help students to build skills and figure out a career path. And another tip they gave students was that nonprofits offer many volunteer opportunities which can help make connections and build more skills. Lastly, they emphasized the importance of diversity in the workplace. Coming up next,
The Black Student Alliance volunteers at the Denver Rescue Mission.
a look at this year's election results.
And coverage on MSU Denver's volleyball team.
All this and more after the break.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
dumb ways to die. Don't let it be around buses and trains. Be safe around buses and trains. A message from RTD.
So many dumb ways to die.
Welcome back, everyone. And well, Noah, Denver Films Festival kicked it off this week, and they definitely brought the attention of filmmakers and fans all over the country.
That's right, Sassy. I went down there. This unique event takes place in different parts of the city for over a week. It's got screenings, Q&As, and even an awards ceremony. Let's take a look. The Denver Film Society is a nonprofit organization formed in 1978 for the preservation and celebration of cinema in Denver. They have expanded in recent years to a prominent community center that attracts people from all across the industry, including actors, directors, producers, and critics. I'm here at the Sci Film Center off Colfax and Josephine. While most of the films will be screened over at the AMC, several smaller features will be shown here, which also works as a central headquarters for Denver Film. The centerpiece of this year's festival is the new 5280 Award, given to the lead creative team of a film that shows, quote, exceptional cinematic work and collaboration to achieve new heights. The inaugural ceremony honored some of the filmmakers behind Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which was screened at the AMC theaters at 8th and Albion Street in East Denver. The screening was followed by a Q&A as well as a short meet and greet with the writers and producers.
My favorite stories are not rise and fall stories, they're rise and rise stories, like Flamin' Hot. So we had to find ways that Miles could stack up accomplishments across the movie in sneaky ways. So he's like, he gets a win when he, like, you know, saves the day in India, so he thinks, right? He gets, like, Hobie puts his arm around him and is like, man like Miles, like, that's a big lift, you know? And he emotionally stacks up things so that by the end of the movie he says, I know how strong I am. And he proves it, he tells it to us, because he had to, because the audience was kind of missing it. So we made him tell you.
The Color of Gwen's World is based on the covers of her comic books, which are all sort of painted in these gouache watercolor jewel tone colors, where that's sort of like that magenta pink and then teal blue and all those colors. And that we're like, well, this is the home base for her, but they're going to evolve with all of her feelings and emotions, and they'll turn red when she's angry, and you'll only see the world through the mood ring of her subjective experience. And so every decision for every design choice has been down to the soles of their shoes and how many beads of sweat are on their forehead in a shot has been discussed by a team of smart people way too long.
This event will continue with screenings of shorts, student films, documentaries, and international features, as well as more panels and awards going on every day until Sunday the 12th. If you're interested in getting tickets, go to denverfilm.org for a full schedule.
Facebook and Instagram recently announced that they will require political advertisers to disclose AI deepfakes. The Meta parent company of Instagram and Facebook will get political advertisers around the world to disclose any use of artificial intelligence in their advertisements. The policy covers any political or social issue ad on social media sites that use digital tools to create images of people or events that do not exist. The use of such artificial intelligence reflects widespread warnings from civil liberties groups and policymakers about the potential risk of democracy of letting AI-generated content lose in political discourse. The rule is set to take effect next year, the company stated, ahead of the 2024 U.S. elections and other future elections worldwide. The Black Student Alliance is a leading Black organization on campus for fostering African American students' excellence in academia.
This week, BSA went to volunteer at the Denver Rescue Mission, and they are urging other student orgs to do the same. Our reporter Miah Ntepp was able to get the scoop.
I'm outside the Denver Rescue Mission off of 22nd and Lawrence, downtown Denver, where the Denver Rescue Mission has been providing services and resources to unhoused communities for over 100 years. The Black Student Alliance volunteered their time this week, and they're urging other student orgs to do the same. Let's check in on the action.
The Denver Rescue Mission has been serving the most vulnerable in the Denver community for over 131 years, and they encourage volunteers to help with meal prep or dinner services. I was able to catch up with the Black Student Alliance from MSU as they prepared to serve meals for Tuesday dinner services.
Hi guys, here we're at the Denver Rescue Mission. We're prepping some food. We're prepping some broccoli right here. So we're trying to do as much as we can.
The cost of housing has roughly doubled over the last decade. Households are spending increasing portions of their income on housing, and first-time homelessness is skyrocketing. The Black Student Alliance are urging the other student organizations to volunteer and get involved.
Hi guys, this is BSA Black Student Alliance on campus. Today we're here at the Denver Rescue Mission, just preparing the food. Yeah, you guys should join us. We will be doing a lot of this every month. If you guys are interested, you guys are welcome to join us. It's amazing, it's fun, and we get to meet new people.
To sign up for your shifts, go to denverrescuemission.org/volunteer.
Now we continue our coverage on a disturbing case out in Penrose, Colorado.
That's right. The owners of the Return to Nature Funeral Home are facing serious charges after over 190 decaying remains were found improperly stored in their facility.
Owners John and Carrie Halford were arrested this past Wednesday in Oklahoma on charges ranging from corpse abuse to forgery.
During a press conference in Colorado Springs, District Attorney Michael Allen revealed that the affidavit contains information that is, in his words, absolutely shocking. Let's see what he said.
We're here to announce that John and Carrie Halford have been arrested in Oklahoma in connection with the investigation that was started on October 3rd, 2023 in Penrose, Colorado. To protect the investigation and subsequent prosecution and the rights of those affected, we will not be getting into the facts of the investigation at this time. I want to stress that all persons arrested on suspicion of criminal activity are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and that idea holds true for this investigation as well. Today begins the prosecution effort. It will be a slow and methodical process, and we will be working with affected family members so they understand the prosecution process and what to expect going forward. We will also ensure their voices are heard during this important phase of the case. The suspects were arrested on suspicion of committing multiple crimes, including money laundering, which is a Class 3 felony, theft, a Class 5 felony, forgery, a Class 5 felony, and abuse of a corpse, a Class 6 felony. I know you're all wanting to see the probable cause affidavit. It is currently sealed and will not be available to the media and the public at this time. It was sealed to protect the investigation and the arrest process. My office will not contest unsealing that affidavit at the appropriate time, but that determination will be made by a judge at a later date. I want to warn you, the information contained in that affidavit is absolutely shocking. All persons.
The Halfords are now being held on a $2 million cash bond while they await extradition to Colorado.
The MetReport's very own Cecilia Perez-Najera has been following the story since the investigation started, and she's actually joining us here in the studio right now. Cecilia, can you give us more details on what about the ongoing investigation, please?
Absolutely. The story is developing from the initial response from law enforcement on October 4th after receiving complaints about an abhorrent smell, which led to the discoveries of what authorities thought was 115 bodies. That number has now risen to over 190 and date back as far as 4 years ago in 2019.
I can only imagine the pain of these family members. What can you tell us about how this is affecting them?
It's a heartbreaking situation for the families involved. Families who thought that they had received the ashes of their loved ones are now discovering that the remains may not be their family members. Several have come forward, including Christina Page, who believes she carried the ashes of her 20-year-old son, David, who was shot and killed by law enforcement back in 2019. For 4 years, she carried the urn from the marble halls of the Colorado Capitol Hill to Washington, D.C., as she advocated for police reform, only to find out that the remains were not his. Authorities are, however, working diligently to identify those remains using fingerprints, dental records, and even DNA if necessary. So far, they've identified 110 of the 190 remains and have returned 25 to their prospective families.
Thank you, Cecilia. It's a devastating ordeal for these families, and we appreciate your continued coverage on this story.
Absolutely. Our thoughts are with the families affected by this terrible tragedy. We now turn to other news, but we'll keep you updated on any developments as this case unfolds. Breaking news in the world of aviation. Spirit Airlines is set to pull the plug on all services out of Denver. In a surprising move, the low-cost carrier announced that it will cease operations at Denver International Airport on January 9, 2024. A spokesperson for DIA said that Spirit operates out of one gate on Concourse C. The gate will revert back to the city when Spirit discontinues service. In a press release, Spirit cited the underperformance of routes and the impact of Pratt & Whitney's GTF engine availability on its fleet. The airline expressed regret for any inconvenience caused to passengers and extended gratitude to Denver's Department of Aviation for years of partnership. 3 routes will be affected by the discontinuation of Spirit's service. The airline says they will offer refunds to people who have made reservations for any flights after January 9th. And now it's time to talk temperatures. We've all been feeling the winter weather coming on, and Alex Petrich is here to give us the lowdown on our early November temperatures here in the Denver metro area.
That's right, Noah. Let's turn our attention to the weather where Alex Petrich is tracking some surprisingly mild temperature. Alex, are we going to have a prolonged autumn?
Thanks, Noah. Thanks, Sassy. Well, folks, it's a chilly start to the morning here in the Mile High, with temperatures only expected to reach the mid-50s today. But things will look a little nicer heading into the weekend. We'll see temperatures in the low 60s with a lot of sun to round out the week. And that good weather will carry us into next week with highs in the mid-60s and sunny skies forecast. So it'll be a good time to be on campus. Thanks for tuning in. Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, Noah, at least we'll be getting some sun here.
Yeah, it looks like it. Well, as we get further into November, we got to be thankful for what we have.
It's too early to be telling jokes right now, Noah.
Okay, well, don't go anywhere because we'll have Sassy with politics after the break.
Thanks for sticking around and welcome to our politics segment. I'm Cecilia Perez-Najera, here to bring you the latest updates in the political landscape. We begin today with the news that Colorado Congressman Ken Buck confirmed he would not be seeking re-election in 2024. The Republican, who has represented Colorado's largely rural 4th district since 2015, as well as serving as chair of the state Republican Party from 2019 to 2021, said last Wednesday that he would bow out of a chance for another term next year, citing widespread election denialism in the GOP as his main reason. Though he initially criticized new House Speaker Mike Johnson for engaging in such claims about the veracity of the 2020 presidential election, Buck voted to confirm Johnson before making his announcement. Colorado's 4th is a strong red district encompassing most of the Eastern Plains as well as the cities of Loveland, Highland Ranch, and Castle Rock. Earlier this week, Coloradans went to the polls to vote in the annual November elections. And while no national offices were up for grabs, 2 major ballot initiatives were decided. Our reporter Alex Petrich has a recap.
Another election cycle has come and gone, and with it, significant changes for the state of Colorado. Last week, we covered the major issues on the ballot, including Proposition HH and Proposition 2. The fates of these 2 propositions were very different as voters went to drop off their ballots. Proposition HH resoundingly failed, with 60% of ballots cast voting no on the bill that would have decreased property taxes. The rejection of the proposition is a huge blow to Governor Polis and Colorado Democrats, who had pushed vehemently for its passage. Dr. Robert Preuss is the chair of the Political Science Department at MSU. I caught up with him to discuss what precipitated the proposition's demise.
Well, you know, I think this was the big way for Democrats to try to balance this large concern about very large increases in property taxes across the state. And of course, that's something that voters see. And so they push back against big government. This was their solution. It was going to be a trade-off, right? We will keep some of those Tabor funds, but we'll give you a cut, or a cap, I guess, to some extent in terms of how high those property taxes are increasing and thus your taxes. But it failed. It failed by a lot, right? About 20 percentage points. And so what this does for the governor and for the legislature, they have to now reconfigure how to go about capturing those funds that they need for their more progressive agenda.
The other major proposition was Prop 2, which sought to use tobacco and nicotine dollars to pay for preschool throughout the state. The bill passed with a margin of 67% to 33%. Dr. Preuss spoke more about what we learned from the 2023 elections in Colorado as we prepare for a major election cycle in 2024, one which will see several state senators up for re-election, as well as the United States presidency.
I think there are two elements there. One is that we're still a blue state, but maybe that purple hue is more evident than a lot of folks tend to think. And so that's going to mean Democrats are going to have to take that message, right, to their campaigns, but it also is going to give hope to some Republicans, particularly kind of moderate Republicans within the urban area seem to do okay. That's one takeaway. The other takeaway is that when we have local elections and or statewide issues that affect taxpayers and they can get a sense of what that means, there probably is a little bit more purple than blue still apparent. The real question will be, once national politics is introduced, where does that polarization go and where do the voters go? And for the most part, all indicators still seem to point to a blue direction, right? A solid blue direction for both the presidential race, but also statewide elections.
For the Met Report, I'm Alex Petrich.
Wednesday night, in a high-stakes showdown, the third Republican primary debate unfolded in Miami, Florida, as the 5 GOP candidates sparred on critical issues that will shape the 2024 election landscape. The event, hosted by NBC News, saw a fiery exchange of ideas with candidates tackling everything from the conflict between Palestine and Israel to economy and healthcare to foreign policy and immigration. This is the third debate in a row former President Donald Trump has skipped. The clash of the GOP candidates demonstrated the deep divides within the Republican Party and offered voters a glimpse into the policy positions and leadership styles of the leading contenders. With the election rapidly approaching, the stakes are higher than ever, and the 2024 primary is shaping out to be one of the most closely watched and fiercely contested in recent memory. An Aurora police officer was acquitted in connection to Elijah McClain's death, raising questions about the use of force and police accountability. In a recent trial, Aurora police officer Nathan Woodyard was found not guilty of recklessly contributing to the death of Elijah McClain, an unarmed black man. Prosecutors have alleged that Woodyard used a carotid hold on McClain and failed to properly provide follow-up care while the detained young man was unable to breathe. However, jurors agreed with Woodyard's argument that he followed his training and placed McClain in a recovery position while calling medics. In the wake of this verdict, the case continues to highlight concerns about a need for comprehensive reform and police accountability. U.S. Representative Jamal Bowman pulled a fire alarm in the Cannon office building in Washington, D.C. 2 months ago, as a Republican sought to kick off voting and spending measures to keep the government open. It was reported that Bowman has now pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge for the pulling of a fire alarm in a congressional building. Bowman's office has made a statement that Bowman will pay the fine and his charges for the action will be withdrawn in 3 months. Hours after the incident, Bowman stated that he was the one to activate the alarm, but said it was an accident due to the door next to the alarm not working. It has been said by the House Administration Committee Chairman Brian Stile that this excuse by Bowman does not pass the sniff test and that Bowman failed to alert the Capitol Police of this mistake as he jogged away after pulling the alarm. There has been footage released of Bowman pulling the alarm, and he may now face removal from all committee assignments. That'll be a wrap on politics. Once again, I'm Cecilia Perez-Najera. Stick around for the break after the break for sports with Brandi.
At Metropolitan State University at Denver, our mission is to provide high-quality, accessible education that prepares our students for successful careers, postgraduate education, and lifelong learning in a global and technological society. Our values of diversity, access, and community help us provide opportunities for our students from all over the globe. In fact, we've just been named a diversity champion by Insight into Diversity magazine for 2016. Because at MSU Denver, we believe in transforming lives.
you reading that trash? Read the Metrosphere.
Metrosphere is a magazine that highlights art, literature, and culture on the Area campus and the surrounding Denver area, created by journalism students while featuring work from English, art, journalism, and design students.
Who are you talking to?
Ballerina.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
Biker Jim's brother.
Hey guys, welcome back from the break. I'm Brandi Rose, and this is your MetReport Sports Rundown. The Colorado Buffaloes have been making headlines all season long, and the addition of Coach Prime and his two sons, Shedeur and Shiloh, has certainly led to a shift in the culture of this football program. This past weekend, Cecilia and I got the opportunity to check out the Buffs as they took on number 16, Oregon State. As the CU Buffs football season kicks into high gear, fans are buzzing with excitement, especially when it comes to the impressive performance of quarterback Shedeur Sanders, who's number 3 in the country in passing yards with 2,637, and number 4 in passing touchdowns with 22 through 8 straight games. And with the Rising Star's name being thrown into Heisman Trophy conversations, we hit the streets of Boulder to gauge the pulse of the Buffs faithful. What are your guys' thoughts on Shedeur Sanders?
I mean, I think he's doing a lot with the program. I think he's helping rebuild their program, but solid, A+. I was actually Shedeur Sanders for Halloween this week, so big fan, big fan. I love it. Yeah.
I think he's a dog, a great football player.
Doing great. We love him.
He's awesome.
I like him. He's good. I think he needs an offensive line.
We really like him. We think he's a great talent. A lot of promise.
He needs to be protected more.
He needs to be protected.
Yeah, absolutely. He's getting hit every.
I think if he's got an offensive line, he'll be doing a lot better.
Yes.
Oh, I love Shedeur. I think he's a great sport. He's throw the ball far. That's all that matters.
I think he's phenomenal. So we are all Florida State people too. We all went to Florida State, so we're big Deion fans. So we love Shedeur. Shedeur is phenomenal.
I'm not really sure. I don't know. It's kind of like a family thing. I don't really know. I come as a family. I don't really know a lot of players.
I love them all. I'm just having a great season. Just happy to be here.
I'm just here for the fun.
Shedeur, I am just so proud of his progress. It seems like he's following his father's footsteps, taking all those ideas and all the experience, become the player that he is at this current day. So I'm very proud of his growth.
Yes, I'm very proud as well. He's doing an excellent job.
He's an amazing quarterback. He needs some help. He needs them to defend, for him, so he wouldn't get sacked so many times. But I just hope his health, lasts and he's okay.
Oh, do you guys think that he has the potential to take home the Heisman this year or maybe in the future?
Probably not this year, just because of the offensive line has kind of hampered his progress this year.
I hope so, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not this year. Probably next year. But.
I would say not this year. Hopefully next year. Hopefully he stays.
We're going to go with maybe next year.
I think he could really pull this team around, pull the season around, and I think he got a strong chance.
As fans rally behind their team, the anticipation for both individual and collective success is palpable. Only time will tell if Shedeur can clinch the Heisman. But one thing is certain, the Buffs faithful are enjoying the ride. For the Met Report, I'm Brandi Rose. This season of the Roadrunners women's soccer team ended this past Sunday with a game against Colorado Mesa at Grand Junction that showed exciting deployments and competitive courage from our girls, but a bitter ending. MSU Denver fought to the end but fell short on Sunday with a 3-2 loss. Mesa took a 3-0 lead 50 minutes into the game, but the Roadrunners came back with a goal in the 53rd minute by Issa Durkin. They then continued to push the pace the rest of the way and finally broke out when Kaylee Manis scored, with 21 seconds left in the game, the Roadrunners' second goal. The game ended in defeat, leaving MSU Denver in 5th place in the tournament and 7-6-6 on the season. The most emotional part of this game was the farewell of senior players Kaylee Manis and Danny Nelson, who played their last game in an MSU jersey. Lacrosse is a well-known sport played all over the world by many, and this past Monday, our reporter Laryss Rodriguez was able to attend a lunch and learn as well as a shoot-around organized by MSU's very own club lacrosse team. Here's more on the story.
What's up, guys? It's Laryss Rodriguez here at the Athletic Center. Today, we're at a lunch and learn to learn about the indigenous origins of lacrosse. Let's go check it out. Clark Tallbull is a member of the Northern Cheyenne tribe from Montana, and he joins the MSU Club lacrosse team to discuss and distribute the origins of lacrosse and how the game we know today goes further back to the Native American community. Clark founded the Native Lacrosse Youth Program in Denver in 1994 and has made it his goal to share the origins of the game with youth players. I was able to get a few words from 2 club players who have been inspired by Clark.
I mean, you know, for me, it was just a kid across the street when I was growing up. You know, he played lacrosse, stuck a stick in my hand, and I kind of fell in love with it. And, you know, it wasn't until 2 or 3 years later that I really started learning about the history of lacrosse and really started appreciating everything that the natives gave us and that the creator really meant for this game.
Yeah, I found out about it through another friend, just kind of seeing other people with my skin color and everything like that. Seeing them play also encouraged me to play, so that's what really got me going.
Yeah, you know, I mean, lacrosse is so much more than a game. You know, it's not just another football. There's so much to it. You know, it's all about, you know, the circle of life, and with the natives, you know, you give what you take, and just everything about it. It's a beautiful game, one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. The values of lacrosse go way beyond just, you know, trying to tear off the other team's heads or anything like that. You know, as Clark Tallbull said, you know, it's about respect. You know, and lacrosse itself has taught me a lot of things in life, whether it's, you know, time management, respect, and just kind of having higher values. You know, it's not just another thing.
Oh yeah, I think it's a great sport to play. Like we were talking to Clark about, just having that stick in your hand, like, relieves all your stress. So yeah, it does help with school a lot, just so you're not always constantly studying and doing homework. So.
Well, I hope you guys learned and enjoyed this as much as I did. For the Met Report, I'm Laryss Rodriguez.
The MSU women's basketball team tips off their season this Friday at number 19 Angelo State, after being ranked 7th in the RMAC preseason poll. The Roadrunners are gearing up for an exciting season with high hopes and a renewed sense of determination. Welcoming back 2 starters in guards Tazane Bonds and Michaela Espinoza, MSU hopes to secure their 7th winning season in 8 years. Starting their season, they will face off against 2 top 25 teams before hosting the Fort Hays State Tigers in their home opener. Be sure to stay tuned as we bring you the latest and what the 2023-24 season has in store. In a thrilling showdown on the volleyball court, MSU emerged victorious against the Colorado School of Mines on Wednesday night, letting the rest of the RMAC know why they're number 1. From the opening serve, it was clear that this match would be a battle of talent, determination, and strategy. The 10th-ranked Ore Diggers were not to be underestimated as they took the first 2 sets, all decided by 6 points or less. The Roadrunners were quick to fight back and dominate the final sets, taking the 3rd set 25-10, the 4th 25-17, and finally closing out the match with a 15-10 victory. Junior Riley Anderson led the attack with 12 kills, 3 aces, and 5 blocks, alongside fellow starter Ember Cansey, who added 10 kills and 7 blocks. The Roadrunners are currently sitting at number 1 in the RMAC and 2nd in NCAA Division II South Central Region rankings as they head into the postseason. The Roadrunners are set to play Colorado Western at 6 p.m. tonight in the Auraria Events Center, followed by senior night against Fort Lewis tomorrow the 11th. That's all I've got for you this week. I'm your sports producer, Brandi Rose. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Brandi. Well, Sassy, Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Got any plans?
I'm so excited for it. No, I'm just going to eat with my family and then stuff my face with pozole, tamales, menudo, just a lot of food.
Sounds really good.
What about you?
Well, I think I'm probably going to be more like the turkey at the end because of how stuffed I'll be. But I will definitely be having fun. Well.
That sounds very fun, Noah. Well, it's been a busy week, but that's what we have for you this week. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more content on everything in and around MSU Denver.
And go to mymetmedia.com for any more information.
Bye, everyone, and have a great weekend.